the woke princess, the queen of victimhood. Let me get out my violin. Wait, let's not forget about her husband, okay? I know he's not really in the frame as much or taking all the limelight because, well, that's her job, but he's still there. So the queen of victimhood and her husband have caused a lot of controversy recently with this new documentary that has been released. Everybody's talking about it. You know about it. I unfortunately know about it. If you don't know about it, essentially, this documentary is based on all the, oppression these two went through. Sorry, it's a bit weird to say people going through oppression, you know, that were in one of the most wealthiest families out there. It's really strange to me. However, in this documentary, it highlights a load of things. Apparently, they went through so many misogynistic things. There was so much racism, there was bullying, etc., etc. I mean, they even used a fake press image to really emphasize their points and really make sure it hits home, you know? I'm just surprised they didn't pick out one or two extra buzzwords from the woke culture dictionary because there's so many right now, you know? Take your pick. However, ever since this has all happened, which by the way, we can go back around 2, 3, 4 years ago, you always had two sides, right? You had the side that didn't believe her and the side that did. You still have those two sides, but this documentary has really solidified that. So now the side that always believes everything she says, the left, because they believe everything and take everything as the gospel, and you're not allowed to question it. If you question it, well, you're evil. So if you question it and you don't believe it, you're obviously on the other side, and by default, you get labeled all of these buzzwords. Just wear it as a badge of honor these days, okay? And if you're extra lucky, you get branded this new term the woke left in the UK are starting to use. I don't know if they use it in other countries, but it's what's it? Oh, gammon face to target a certain group of people, old white men. I just find it funny, right? If the shoe was on the other foot and somebody said something really bad, tomorrow you would see 11 football teams on one knee posting it on Instagram with hashtag Black Lives Matter. Don't cry, go and watch Candace Owens' documentary and your reality shattered. Damn. But this documentary, nonetheless, is causing a lot of emotions to stir in a lot of people. In this video, we're going to be talking about the two main people that are really causing a lot of stir themselves on social media, Jeremy Clarkson and Piers Morgan. Now, we're going to start with Piers Morgan because all of you know about him. I've got a lot of respect for him. Don't cancel me. I think he's funnier than most people actually want to admit. He knows how to get a reaction out of people, right? But if you go check out his channel recently, all of his uploads right now are all about the Meghan and Harry situation. Pretty much every single video is actually quite insane. Now, I understand why he's also doing it, and so will a lot of other people, right? It's a popular talking point. The algorithm is pushing these videos out, so he's getting a lot of views and a lot of money. So obviously him and his team are going to look around and be like, well, the show goes on, it makes total business sense. He also feels compelled to defend the royal family, which by the way, he's allowed to do. He's in his own right to do so. I know a lot of people want to get rid of freedom of speech, but up until this point today, I don't know if it's changed. It still exists, sorry, but, and there is a big but. And I may be alone in saying this, but this is what this channel's for, right? To all come together, discuss our opinions and not cancel each other for it. We don't do that around here. That's for other unstable people. But in my opinion, the more Piers Morgan goes on and makes videos, the more emotion he adds to his videos. The average person who just watches this stuff and doesn't think for themselves is going to watch Meghan's documentary. Listen to the stuff she's saying. Watch his videos and be like, she is so correct. And they can't think, but they'll be like, she's so correct. He's making the documentary better than it actually is. Because it's not even going back and forth, right? It's not Harry and Meghan going back and forth with Piers Morgan. It's just coming from one side. Meghan has dropped this documentary and she's walking off into the sunset. Stunning, brave. The rainbows are everywhere with her lapdog, right? And they've got all the publicity they wanted, which by the way, I thought they didn't want any. Bit confusing. But it's just coming from one side. So people are going to look at it, like I said, the people who don't think and be like, wow, that is such an emotional response from Piers Morgan, and they're just going to side with Meghan Markle. Maybe I'm wrong. Which then, this directly leads us onto our next guy, Jeremy Clarkson. Now, a lot of you may not know who this man is, and understandably so. He's a British guy, and we don't really put them out there for all the world to see, but he's had an eye-catching career, nonetheless, very eye-watering. He was the host of Top Gear when it was at its peak. I mean, I didn't even like Cars, and I still watched it because of his dynamic between the other two hosts. He's now stopped that, and he is a journalist for The Sun. But he doesn't like Meghan Markle, and understandably so. However, the piece he has done on her just doesn't help the side you're on whatsoever. ever. Meghan, though, is a different story. I hate her, not like I hate Nicola Sturgeon or Rose West. I hate her on a cellular level. At night, I'm unable to sleep as I lie there, grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her. Yep, that's pretty brutal. I don't really agree with it too much. I don't condone it. That's not what I would say. I would reword it a lot. This is not how you deal with this situation, and this goes for Piers Morgan as well. You don't act in an emotional way, right? You don't be angry. You treat Meghan and Harry as they're acting, right? Two kids who just don't stop crying. And what do you do with kids who don't stop crying? You don't keep on giving them attention because they don't stop crying. You turn around and ignore them. And then soon enough, they be quiet and normality resumes and the silence is just, wow, it's deafening. However, we've decided to go the other way. And it's not helping anybody whatsoever. But this part is the controversial part of this video, so buckle up. Don't we just see a lot worse on social media? To me, this is pretty timid, right? I've experienced worse in the comments and the DMs. The only difference is I don't feel offended and start crying and posting about my feelings. I know we are in the age of feelings when everybody's got to feel offended, but why don't we just grow some thick skin, maybe? Who knows? I don't condone what he says. I've established that many times, and let me say it again, because there's people out there that only listen to what they want to hear. I don't condone it. But do I sit here after reading that and feel like, oh, it's so misogynistic, it's so racist? No. I don't do that just because I don't agree with it, but that's the state of the world we're in, right? If you disagree with somebody and you say something people don't like, you've got an ist or a phobic attached to the end of your name. It just so happens Meghan is a woman and a woman of colour, so she fits the narrative perfectly. So if you disrespect her, if you say anything that people don't like, you're now racist, misogynistic, etc., etc. That's just how the world works now. That's the playbook. Mate, this just boggles my mind. Okay, yes, he says something outlandish, fine, whatever. But I just don't understand and will never understand why the left just feel like they have to be offended at the expense of Meghan and Harry, right? Why do you have to feel offended for them? Okay, this wasn't targeted at you. Jeremy Clarkson didn't write this about all of you. He said it about two people you don't even know, yet you feel like you have to get offended as well. I've seen people say, oh, we need to call the police. For what? If Meghan and Harry feel so offended and they feel at danger, at risk, they will do something, right? You need to understand that. You, on Twitter, complaining and crying about all of this doesn't solve anything apart from help Meghan and Harry, obviously, right? And do you really think these two care about you? Do you really think they're sat there in America, wherever they're sat, well, who cares? They're sat in their house saying, wow, Harry, my fans, they must feel so bad. Yes, I know, darling. Do you think that? No, they don't care. They don't care about you. They just use you. You are a machine to them, right? You help purport the propaganda that they want everybody to believe, and you do it all the time. You just blindly walk into things. You say things without thinking because you're part of this big echo chamber and you haven't realized it yet, which is fine. You know, you're sheep and you do what you do, but just wake up and smell the coffee. They don't care about you. They really don't. But you're a sheep, so I don't know. Well done to you, I guess. To finish this video off, this very intense video, the Queen Consort, Camilla, threw a party the other day, right? A huge party. I'm annoyed I wasn't invited. Where was my invite? Probably stuck in the post. She invited many people nonetheless. People didn't really care. They didn't really give a shit until they saw Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson were invited. Now everybody's upset, right? They think literally everybody gathered together in a dark room, round a table with hoods up, and devised their next plan to get People are allowed to spend time with who they want, right? People are allowed to have friends that you don't like. I'm sorry, I know the left and all the emotional people want to control everything because you don't like anything. But sorry, you can't control who people spend time with as much as you want to, okay? Get a grip. This is a big statement nonetheless by Camilla. I think everybody can recognize that and it just shows where they stand. But I don't really care who she invites to her party, right? Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson aren't some war criminals. They're not on a wanted list as much as the left want them to be. They're just normal, average people. So do I care who Camilla spends her time with and drinks some wine with the one finger up? No, I don't care. I just think a load of people are just very jealous that Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson got invited to a royal party and they didn't. So whilst the left and Twitter are calling for certain people to be banned, fired, cancelled, the royal family to be abolished, what do you guys think? Do you agree with what I've said? If not, I would like to know. How are you feeling about this documentary if you've watched it? Is it exciting? I would like to know because I haven't watched it. I don't really want to be cringed out. If you have enjoyed today, then please for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Please for me, make sure to always have a great day and stay safe. I'm out. Peace. See you next time.